Stanton Moore, sir. Thank you so much for doing this.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much for the interview. How could I put this? An intellect of a drummer, a pioneer, played with every genre in the system. You've played metal before. You played with Corrosion of Conformity back in 2005. How do you feel back in metal after all these years?
I love it, and I've been telling this to some people, and some people know, but I'm actually actively making a next record with Corrosion of Conformity.
This year?
Yeah. We just tracked the drums for 9 days in Louisiana, but Pepper Keenan and I got together and did a few writing sessions, but we did a 4-day writing session together with the whole band in New Orleans, a 5-day writing session, the whole band in Raleigh, a 6-day learning all the songs, tweaking the songs and pre-production in Mississippi, and then 9 days of tracking in Lafayette, 3 hours outside of New Orleans. So that record should be out, I think, in November. So long story short, I've very much been working on a lot of my metal stuff, approach, ideas, grooves, the way that I hit, and some of the fill ideas. So to do this, admittedly, I'm learning songs that I haven't played before, but playing in a very heavy way is something I've actively been doing as of late. So this is really, really cool because I'm familiar with hitting hard and playing in a metal context from what I've been doing with COC lately. And then to come in, learn some new songs, and come and hit with these guys it feels a little bit refreshing because I'm learning new songs, but it's also very comfortable because I've been working so much on all the COC stuff. So I don't feel completely like a fish out of water, even though I'm playing 3 new songs that I haven't played in front of people before.
When they approached you for the Rock in Dio event, what was it like? I mean, was it after the drum camp? Like, you should come to Greece for the drum camp, and then we have a surprise for you. What happened?
Yes, exactly. So when I came here in 2017 and did the drum camp back then, Nikos Anastasiadis, who's the drummer in Rock and Roll Children, and has become a very dear friend of mine, he has come to a few of my camps, and he's come to New Orleans for Jazz Fest, he's come to Jam Cruise, and so he approached me when I came last time and said, we're going to go to the drum camp, but then we'll do a couple days of master classes, private lessons, stuff like that, and then have a day off built in to have a little bit of relaxation and fun. So I trust him implicitly when he approaches me about stuff. He's like, okay, we're gonna have you over for the camp, which is a 5-day camp. Then we'll keep you in Athens for 4 days, and we're gonna do a master class, some lessons, a day off where we're gonna go to the sea and sit and have seafood. But here's the kicker, in all of that, it just so happens that we're doing our big charity Rock in Dio event. While you're here, would you be into coming and playing a few songs with Rock and Roll Children on that Saturday night? I said, absolutely, of course. So he thought about what tunes he wanted me to play, sent me the tunes, and it all just worked out. And I'm really excited to be doing it and very much looking forward to playing in a little bit.
You've been around for a couple of years. You've been around for many years, actually. And you've recorded, like, I don't know, 10,000 of dozens of records. Any memories of Dio back in the day?
Sure, of course. Especially as a kid, watching Headbangers Ball and
Vanessa Warwick?
Yeah, exactly. And watching MTV during that time. And of course, there was a lot of Dio in different form, in the different bands he was in, showing up all the time. So, of course, I have memories from when some of those records were released, and then to get to go back and revisit some of that. I mean, I never listened to it in a way to learn it, so I've done a much deeper dive, and so I've had to pay a lot more attention to the details of everything. So I have a newfound respect and admiration for the music and for the drumming. I'm learning some of the Cozy Powell parts for Starstruck and some of the Vinny Appice parts for Rainbow in the Dark and Voodoo. So it's really cool to go in and I'm learning some of the fills note for note, some of the fills I'm playing my own way, but just by hearing all that stuff, I'm actually getting new ideas by learning all this stuff in such a deep way. So it's been very fun for me. I love learning new stuff. I love growing. So whenever I'm asked to do a project, I try to prepare as much as I can and learn as much, because no matter what style of music I'm learning, if I really approach it with a good attitude and learn as much about it as I can, I'll learn some new ideas that I can modify for my own music that I'm playing in other situations.
Many drummers of your status, like many colleagues of yours, like Mark Donder, for instance, say when they give advice to people, to new drummers, young drummers, students, they say, think outside the box. When you practice, don't practice always metal. If you play in a metal band, don't always play that stuff. Think otherwise. Play jazz, play, funk. You are playing outside the box for so many years. You're playing jazz, you're playing funk, you're playing everything. You have your own series of snare drums, you have your own patents on playing, and you're always outside the box. So when you return to metal, what is the first thought? What do you think? What is the essence?
So I like to make it feel good. It's always, to me, the groove, the feel of the song that we're playing is always top of mind. And obviously, one of my favorite drummers is John Bonham. And what made John Bonham so good is that, to your point, he thought outside the box. And he was a big fan of Earl Palmer and a lot of early rock and roll that was recorded in New Orleans. So we all know that his intro to rock and roll is coming from Earl Palmer, but also Charles Connor. I don't want to do a deep dive on that right now, but he was very aware of Charles Connor, the touring drummer of Little Richard, as well as Earl Palmer, as well as Bernard Purdie, and he was also a big fan of James Brown and Clyde Stubblefield. So with John Bonham, you've got a guy who is, very aware of some of the best groove drummers around in Bernard Purdie, Clyde Stubblefield, and Earl Palmer, just to name the three that I've already talked about. So Bonham was very focused on groove. So when I dip into learning the parts of Cozy Powell and Vinny Appice, I can hear the Bonham in what they're doing. So some of what they're doing, saka taka baka taka boom is not da 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 boom, and it's not da 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 boom. So when I hear those guys playing that kind of stuff, I'm trying to get it to feel the way that they're getting it to feel, which is very informed in Bonham, but that's also very informed in a lot of the groove music that Bonham checked out. So a lot of James Brown, a lot of Bernard Purdie, and the things that I mentioned. So when I'm coming back to all of this, to metal, I try to make it feel good. And yes, I want to think outside of the box, but I also, one of my main mantras is you can't go wrong if you learn the song. So that doesn't mean just learning the parts, but also making the feel an innate part of what you're doing when you approach the song. So that's what I'm really trying to go for, is make everything feel amazing and also throw in some surprises, but stay true to the song.
How about we take you to dive into your past using the DeLorean of your mind and think about 3 moments in your career, your illustrious career, that it was really touching for you. It was really tear shedding. Can you remember just 3 of them that you felt like, God, I'm just so glad I picked up to be a drummer?
Sure. Anytime that a drummer comes to me, and I've had this happen, several times, thank goodness, but anytime a drummer comes to me and says, I'm a better drummer because of what I've been learning from you. You've helped me focus on feel, focus on learning the songs, focus on groove. And my bandmates have noticed, and not only my current bandmates, but other people have been asking me to play with them, and now I'm working more. And sometimes I even hear, because of that, that's made me happier in general. And now my significant other says that I'm more enjoyable to be around. So anytime I get feedback like that is emotional. I mean, I'm actually kind of getting goosebumps thinking about it. And that is super important to me. I can remember one time standing shoulder to shoulder with the drummer of the Meters, Zigaboo Modalis. So I'm standing there, so I have a holy trinity of drummers, and that is John Bonham, Zigaboo Modalis of the Meters, and Elvin Jones. So one time I was watching Elvin Jones at Jazz Fest, and I felt somebody stand next to me, shoulder to shoulder, and it was Zigaboo Modalis. And without looking at me, because we know each other, without looking at me, he looked up at Elvin and said, "That man right there, that's the high priest. That man was put on earth by God for us." And I'm getting emotional thinking about that. You know, so getting to watch two of my Holy Trinity, one of them comment on the other as we watched him, and unfortunately Bonham's not with us any longer, but to have that moment, that was incredible, you know. And then lately I've been having a pinch me moment when I get asked to play with George Floyd Jr. and Leo Nocentelli, the bass player and the guitar player of the Meters. So I play in a project now called Geo Leo, which is George and Leo, with Ivan Neville on keys. And we just played our second gig during Jazz Fest. Our third gig is coming up on Jam Cruise. So I'm getting to play with half of the Meters, which in New Orleans, the Meters are as important as the Beatles or Led Zeppelin or Black Sabbath. So this is like getting asked to play with half of the Beatles or half of Led Zeppelin or half of Black Sabbath. So for me, that's like a super emotional, pinch me kind of moment. So that's 3 for you right there.
Thank you so much for your time. Enjoy your staying here, enjoying the live tonight, and talk soon.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Master.
Yes, indeed.